So I'm gonna be probably hitting a little bit a dark place in life and entering a dark part into my mind. But I have to express his opinion, and I want to know if anybody else has this understands where my mind is. But it's like dealing with society and civilization and try to live within it and not really understanding how it functions because I used to do drugs. I got clean. All right, been clean for about 2 years, and drugs were really never my problem. My problem was never drugs. My problem was the stupid laws, the unjust court system, childish fucking people, stupid bullshit, games, manipulating tactics, gaslighting. I mean, drugs were never my problem. My problem is I see the world for how it should be, not how it is. Like dealing with fucking drug addicts, I understand why you jiggle. I understand why you do drugs. I'm not faulting you for so much doing drugs. Alright, but I am faulting you for not at least having some kind of respect. I mean, back when I was on the streets, there was respect at least still. There was still somewhat of a code. Um, but it's like there's no respect, and it's like you call the cops, and you have to almost play a character because I've had people try to get in my face, threaten to fight, and want to shove their cock down my throat and pretend like they're gonna swing at me with a machete. And it's like I call cops and nothing happens. All right, they don't come out here. They don't do anything. They probably know where their campsite is. They probably know who I'm talking about because they're regulars that come around here. You know, the law is so screwed up here because there is a person that is actually 86 from the property, but if he goes straight to a friend of his that lives on the property, then he's okay. But I don't understand how he's able to get to that friend's house without coming on the property that he's 86 from. But the landlord can't do anything about keeping him off the property if he goes straight to a friend's house. That makes no sense. Like, and I'm at my freaking breaking point because there's aluminum foil all around my apartment complex. I have a 3 year old that likes to pick up shiny things, and the one that was right in front of my doorway was covered in drugs. The bus stop that's right outside our apartment complex is covered in aluminum foil most of the time. And the field that's right across the street, I mean, where there was fire in Lakewood on 150th Street Southwest, you know, and there's a campsite over there. And I'm at my breaking point because I don't have a problem. I mean, I'm pretty sure, I'm 90% sure that I wouldn't have a problem snapping somebody's neck and living with it. But I'm trying to avoid that. I mean, I don't see the point like, have a civil conversation, find a solution, fix the problem. Hopefully, as a civilized adult um, that lives in the year 2023, in a great time period, pretty much to live in, um, I don't want to resort to medieval tactics or caveman tactics or barbarian tactics or savage tactics. But make believe, or must, I don't even know what I was trying to say, but I don't have a problem taking care of the problem. All right, there's a giant garbage fucking can right there where I can throw you because I've just hit my breaking point because it's like you try to return back to society, get clean, play the rules, even though they fucking pull some fucking illegal tactics to get in your life. I mean, and had to fight to get them out of your life just to join a society that is poisonous, venomous, and toxic. That you look at it and you wonder, why do I want to be a part of this society? I mean, like, I'm trying to figure out what's so great about being part of society. I mean, besides the only thing that was, different from there to now is that then I was doing drugs, but my kids had like 3 tablets each. They had toys, they had food. I had great friends that were doing drugs with me and bringing food and presents to my kids. My kids had a roof over their head. Um, they were loved. They loved their dad. But then CPS gets involved in your life and your kids get taken away, not even by your own choice, but because the court system is against men, it's automatically your choice, and you have an ex that wants to blame you for her own fucking problems and yours. Like, and then now I have not on drugs, I have my kids, you know, but I barely have any money. I mean, they have an old phone that, my girl has from when we first had cell phones, and she now uses that old phone as a tablet for our daughters to play on. Barely have any food. I mean, being on drugs and diggling and bringing trash into my apartment and all this scrap metal, and you know, I didn't have any bugs in my apartment in Tacoma. I mean, I maybe had a few, you know, but nothing like now. I, I was doing I did all the UAs for the courts. I did group. I didn't need it. I was very blunt with what I mean. Like, I think the group thing was a joke. Um, all the programs that the government has to help you get clean and take your life back are a fucking joke. And I don't particularly think, even for the people that the 12-step program works for, I don't think it really works for you. I just think you're weak minded. If the 12-step program works for you, I think you just are very easily manipulated. I think you're very easily coerced. I think you have a really bad dose of peer pressure. I don't think the 12-step actually works for you. I just think you're really easy to be talked into that it works for you. Right? And that's just my personal opinion. I mean, if what I'm saying is a lie and you don't feel this way, then don't allow my words to shape your reality. All right, but if you get butthurt about my opinion and want to come at me sideways, then there's some truth to it. All right, that's how my mind is gonna work. So don't bother coming at me if you're butthurt. All right, if it works for you, it works for you. Shut up. All right, but no, it was nice to have, but when I was in the group program for rehab and all that, I, I was trying. I wasn't trying to fix myself. Honestly, I wasn't trying to fix myself. I was trying to understand the program and fix it. Because I didn't need the program. I already understood that, of my own choices, holding accountability, you know, owing my kid an explanation for this and that. You know, holding my blame, you know, and setting my ground and my boundaries and what I'm not going to tolerate from other people. I'm not gonna just like it was with the same like with dealing with DCYF and CPS. It felt like they wanted you. to just comply and just follow what they said. And because I have a brain and what they were saying didn't make sense, or, you know, I guess a little bit of authority issues. And I didn't agree with it, or I pushed back on it. And I asked questions about why they think this, why they think that, or this is what I've heard about this topic. They don't like that. They want you to just go, okay, that worked. Okay, I'll do that. Okay, I'll do that. Okay, I'll do that. Like somebody else said the whole like philosophy about how like CPS and DCYF likes to give you so much to see if you can handle it. Because if you can't handle the bullshit that they throw at you, then they can they don't think you can handle being a parent. The only problem is like you are not allowed to say no to CPS or DCYF without issues. All right, you're not. You have to say yes, yes. You can't reschedule like you can now. You can't say no. We're not going to do that like you can now. You don't have power, and even now you have to walk on eggshells around CPS. Because I mean, we're almost done with our case. I mean, I'm pretty sure my ex. I mean, I already know her sister is one that called CPS on us, and I know my ex and her girlfriend are other ones that typically call CPS on us. But we've had CPS and cops called on us, come over here, find out, that what they were told is a lie. Um, and then our child is doing just fine, happy, no bruises, nothing. Um, and they just close the case. They don't go and look and talk to the person that made a false complaint. Because like being called a pedo, being called a rapist, or getting CPS and DCYF in your life, all right, those are like death sentences. All right, those are like things that you have. I mean, along with drugs as well and homeless, that they're not as bad, as the other ones. But those are names that you have a hard time washing yourself from. The whole like second chances and rehabilitation of yourself to you know accolade back to society is not it's more hot air than it actually is a statement that people actually really believe. um so I don't think those are like things that you should be just thrown around willy-nilly. But for some fact that DCYF is not going to look into them, because they classify as them coming out to check and see if those claims are real. They count that as looking into it. Not that, okay, well, we found out that this complaint is wrong. All right. Now we're going to go do a check and see what the hell, why this person made a false claim. All right. No, they don't do that. And I'm firsthand. I mean, CPS and DCYF, they are allowed to lie to you. They are allowed to manipulate you. They are allowed to not give you all the facts. Because like when me and my girl gave birth to our daughter Elvina, and the freaking hospital, I mean, it was all over, because she already had a spinal tap and was high on morphine because I can't remember everything why, but she wouldn't. She had her waking up for like 6 hours to feed her, and because oh no, she was high on morphine because of something, and we wanted. I can't remember what. No, was it? We wanted her not get the spinal tap until maybe a night or a few nights of rest because she was high on morphine and she'd been through a lot. Or no, 10 days. Oh no, the spinal. She had a. I don't know. There was just some 10-day penicillin treatment because my girl popped positive for syphilis, but she got cleared. You know, um, and then we wanted them to wait a night, or to give her a night to just relax and rest. And because we didn't get in touch with them in 3 to 4 hours, they came in with a doctor, and nurses, no, yeah, a doctor and a few nurses or whatnot, to take our daughter and do the 10-day penicillin treatment. I mean, it's not like we said no. We just said not right now. But they wanted to do it now. Um, and then they came, and then because of that, they started to start talking about how our child had body lice on her, and this and all that. And then India Irons came into our room, and I mean, we were already working on getting clean. We were already at the Adams Family Shelter at this time. We were already like I think a month clean, maybe a little bit longer. Um, and um, she came in and filed or had us some paperwork to sign. And I wish, I mean, I know I wasn't clean because if I had the mindset that I have now, I would not have signed the paperwork that India Irons came and gave us. I would have gotten a lawyer and taken them to court because that's not what because when they come into the room and they hand us the paperwork to sign, they make it seem like you either sign this paperwork and maybe get your kid back, or don't sign this paperwork and your kid gets taken to the system and you don't get her. Right? They don't tell you, hey, don't sign this. You'll be taken to court, be given a lawyer, and then we can just fight it there. And I would have done that because I think like we were already working on being clean, right? And there was no legal grounds for CPS and TCYF to have taken Elvina or Malanta, for that matter. Um, Besides that, like I mean, we were already. I mean, I think both times where I mean, Malanta is my daughter, my daughter, um, and we were already getting clean and trying to focus on getting her back. I didn't know she was mine until later, or possibly mine. Um, that's a long story. Um, but we. I mean, I have a clean record. Um, I mean, she has a few things on her record, but nothing, you know, bad or nothing that has to do with kids, and neither do I. Um, so like, I would have taken him to court and fought straight off right there, because there was no legal ground besides the fact we were doing drugs, but we were over, I mean, or we were doing drugs. I mean, we're already on the path to getting clean and and getting off the streets and this and all that. Um, so there was no legal grounds for CPS and TCYF to come into our lives, and I wish I would have had the mindset now. And I would have, yeah, told Indians, no, we're not setting it, and gotten paperwork or a number. Because they would, I mean, like they would have to give us. I mean, if they're not going to give us, if they're not going to, that we won't sign that, they'll have to give us some kind of document stating to be, her parents, whatnot, and a number to call, and they would still have to open up a case on us because they are involved in our lives. Because once you get a case open for CPS DSWAF, there's no way to just close it because you're wrong, because they're wrong. All right, because they're in your life, you have to deal with them. So we would still have to have had a case with them, but it would have been a different case because I mean, I would take them straight to court and just say, hey, no, 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 we already have a month clean. All right, we are not dealing with. I mean, I probably have to do some for my previous two kids, and she would probably have done some of the groups in the UAs because of her previous case, but we would not have had to done anything for Elvina, or maybe Malanta. Elvina was definitely taken illegally. Malanta, there might have been some grounds, but nothing to, I mean, cause the bullshit and the manipulating games that CBS and DCY. I mean, I'm sorry, but they might like to talk like they are looking and hoping to reunite families. They're not. They are not there to reunite families. All right, their first agenda is not to reunite families. if reuniting the family works out, then they will do it. But their goal is not to keep the family together. There's no way in hell you can get me to believe that CPS and TCYF want the family to stay together. All right. So yeah, that's my own personal opinions of CPS and TCYF, the cops, being on drugs. I mean, I'm all over the place right now. Yeah, that's just my insight on dealing with TCYF and CPS and a little bit piece of my road again. But like I said, I mean, I'm clean. My girl's clean. We got our kids. I mean, I wouldn't change the life that I have for anything. I don't have any. I mean, I won't say I don't have any desire to smoke drugs, because that would be a flat out lie. But I'm happy with where my mind is right now. The drugs are not worth or safe enough to do nowadays. I mean, drugs have just changed from when I did them. Fentanyl's hit the streets and gotten bad. I've lost a lot of homeboys to it. I mean, most of the people I know are either out of this country or city and county. I lost contact with them. Or they're doing their own thing and they're just busy. Or they're in prison or jail. Or they're dead. So, on top of that, I mean, I don't talk to my family. And being out in Lakewood, where I'm pretty much isolated from everybody else that I do know that's on the street. Yeah, me, my girl, my kids is my team. Me, my girl, my kids are that's my team. But I definitely try to get in touch with a lawyer, maybe a few organizations to, I don't know, change the laws. I think the laws definitely need to change. But I'm losing momentum and focus and stuff to talk about. So I'm going to just end it there.